Welcome back to another episode of Critical Affection, where we affectionately criticize the pop culture that we love. And I'm your host, Sarah, and there's my host, Fred, and there's my host, Brian, and there's my host, Amanda. And Ben is joining us back again for the second time. And Joe, this is your first time here, so welcome.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Why don't you guys take a second to introduce yourselves? Oh, and somebody send me a link to your project, because I forgot that until just now.
All right, here, I'll send it right now. So
All
Joe,
right.
Joe, go ahead. I'll send the link.
Okay, well, my name is Joe Ng. I'm the artist of Dead Air. Ben and I have known each other for quite a long time now, I think over 2 decades.
Yeah.
This is our second collaboration. Our first was Code 45, which was printed also through Kickstarter. And yeah, looking forward to talking about Dead Air and all sorts of other interesting things. My history is I came in drawing a book based off a toy called Transformers. This was back in the early 2000s. And then I kind of pivoted to drawing for a company called Udon Entertainment, which is a Toronto-based company. And they mainly do video game properties like Street Fighter, Mega Man, Darkstalkers, that sort of thing. Now I've worked for a few different companies. I've worked for a company that does the Marvel Comics Crisis Protocol board game. And I've also previously worked for companies like Blizzard Entertainment and Konami, a bunch of different things. But now we're doing our own thing, and it's Dead Air, and I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. That's quite an impressive resume.
Yeah, he makes me
Right.
look so good. You would not believe it.
It's not a lot. It's like the small things here and there. But yeah, it's been quite the ride for me.
Excellent.
Joe, you're really talented, man. It didn't occur to me when we were talking backstage that like I saw your art yesterday. There it is, right there. Gorgeous stuff, dude. I really do like this project. Looks cool.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Does that help? No, it really doesn't, does it? Okay. Ben, why don't you tell us about yourself a little here?
So I am a freelance writer. I've been writing professionally for about almost 20 years now. But I've only been making comics since like 2018, and this is the third book that I've collaborated on. This is the second book, as Joe said, that we've worked on together, also with our creative partner Angela Hodge. And on this book, we have colors from Mayo Opechik and lettering from Lyndon Radchenka. And this book is about a world where one day out of the year you can talk to the dead. And there's a technology called Detox that makes that possible. And it links two different eras in the life of a group of friends. Their late 90s university days when they were all college DJs and, excited about being in the world and getting out of school and creating the future. And then 15 years later, when they're in their mid 30s and their life has caught up to them and they're all still united, but this time it's because of a tragedy that occurred in their past. And the Detox technology, one of the characters in the story uses it to reach out to someone that they thought they had lost and discovers that maybe what had happened in the past didn't happen the way they thought it did. And as a result, they have to, as their later adult selves, figure out if there's any chance of redemption for them and how they can come together once again to try and figure out what their future could look like. The story for me, it's really personal. I was a university radio DJ at that time. Joe and I were products of that era. So a lot of the fashion, a lot of the colors, a lot of the music is something we really relate to. But also what I really wanted to do was explore the ideas of friendship and how friendship changes over time and what happens when, friendships you thought would last forever don't end up lasting forever and what that does to you when you're confronted with that again many years after the fact. I think ultimately that's really the core of Dead Air as a story.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds really good. Excellent movie choice for today too. Now that you're describing it like that.
Yeah, so Empire Records, there was this we were talking a little bit before the show, but there was this genre of movie that we don't get anymore that was called, I called it the 80s or 90s music movie, where you have a bunch of characters who are all hanging out together and they're very different. you wouldn't think that they would be friends, but they're all united by some aspect of music. And Empire Records is because they all work at the same store. You have movies like Pump Up the Volume, which was an early attempt at that, where they're united by the fact that this guy's on the radio and he's saying outrageous things, and it attracts a lot of other students from the school to that friend group. You have Detroit Rock City, was a movie in the 90s where they're all united by the fact they're trying to get Kiss tickets to a Kiss concert, and that's the whole thing driving all the action. And even in the late 90s, you had a movie like Go, which is like very influenced by the rave scene, and how that music and how that culture affects the characters in the movie. And you can even really, really diversify if you want to look at like movies like The Commitments, That Thing You Do, Reality Bites, where that's more of like a band-focused music movie. But the main idea was it was people experiencing music together communally. And I feel like we don't have those movies anymore because of the balkanization of how music is consumed culturally. Like everything is playlists and streaming, and it's done in an individual way. You don't like show up at a music store and hear a song on the loudspeakers and then say, "Hey, what is this song?" And then you have a conversation with someone about it, and et cetera, et cetera. The third spaces for music have really kind of wound down. So I feel that that's why we don't get these kinds of movies anymore, which is really too bad, because as flawed as they are, it lets you do some interesting things with story and character.
Very cool. All right, let's have a look at some of this stuff here. Oh my gosh. Okay, I love this cover.
That's all Joe. That was Joe. That was like a months long conversation about trying to figure out the right perspective for this cover.
I think covers are such a difficult thing because you kind of have to figure out if you want to have the cover based on the story in the book, or sometimes you can just do whatever you want. And I think with our covers, I think the first cover was very subtle. The second cover was not very subtle.
Yeah, this one's not subtle at all.
Not getting subtle.
Okay, wait, let's make it.
Yeah, like we were thinking a little bit too hard on what to do on the covers, and we just kind of.
Oh, you want to see it
I was
again?
like,
Is that why I'm big? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this was the first cover, which is, as Joe said, much more subtle. We got two of the main characters together, more the radio
Yeah.
theme. Yeah.
Yeah, so we ended up just thinking like, you know what are just cool ideas for covers, and we'll just do that instead. So
Yeah.
that was an easier way to do it.
Yeah, this one's really fun. I mean, like, you gotta love the Ozzy tribute there.
That was that was an Easter egg that Joe didn't tell me was going to be on there. It's pretty cool to
Aw.
see that.
Yeah.
And Ferry is a fun, that character's name is Ferry. He's a metalhead. He's a fun guy because he's very much a live in the moment kind of guy, as most metalheads are at that age, I think. Not a lot of forward planning. So you can have some interesting situations with that guy.
Awesome.
And this is sort of how the DJ booth looked at my university. We pulled from that as much as we could. But the thing is, and this is weird, but in the 90s, we weren't as I mean, everyone knows we weren't photographed as much as we are now. And the pictures that I had to try to find that were taken in that booth, it was really tough. Like I was just going through like stacks and stacks of like 4x6s, and you're never taking a picture of the environment. You're taking a picture of people in the environment. So we had like maybe 2 or 3 shots that were decent enough to replicate kind of what it looked like.
Yeah, also we were really trying to figure out how the look of the book was going to be. I knew just from Ben's descriptions early on that it was going to be taking place in 2 different time periods. One was going to be in the 90s, which is very kind of nostalgic, and it's all about us growing up and what we remember. And we want to make the visual for the 90s version of the story to be more bright and more kind of vibrant, whereas the more present day side of the story is a little bit cooler, a little bit more muted. And it's kind of how we kind of view our own past. It's especially the good times. We kind of look through like these rose-colored glasses a little bit, and we kind of like picture it as being a little bit more optimistic than it probably was. And so we tried to make that a visual aspect in the book. Even in the borders, like the borders in all the 96 parts of the story, they're all just white, so to brighten things up. Whereas the 2011, all the borders are black, and kind of to create that stark contrast between the 2 time periods.
Joe, remind me, were you colors on this as well?
No, Mayo Patrick is, and so we had given her kind of the direction of where to go, and she just knocked it out of the park.
She's
Yeah, they
fantastic.
pop.
Yeah.
They pop.
Yeah,
beautifully.
she loved the palette that you get. Like in the 90s, you get to play with colors, I think, in a way that you don't necessarily do nowadays, at least not in media. Like there was a lot of color forward fashion in that era, especially when you start looking at music subcultures, which were a cool way to create character where you can say, okay, this person is a goth, this person is into Britpop, this person loves metal, this person is a raver. So that gives you a uniform, and within that uniform you could really play around with developing character via color.
At the same time, we didn't want to put someone in a specific stereotype. So like the goth person doesn't act like this emo person, because the goths I remember back when I was in high school, they were super energetic and super bubbly. And you know, we don't want to corner someone just because of the way they look.
Exactly.
But
And our metalhead is a genius. You know, like it's stuff like that. It's fun. You can confront expectations and have fun with that too.
As you should.
Yeah.
And Joe, when Joe's drawing our goth character, she is super monochromatic. It's like such a contrast to the rest of. You can see her in the background.
So for her in the past, she's like basically black and white, but then her in the present day, she's super colorful. So she's the opposite effect.
Yeah, because everything
I like
changes,
the
right?
way that this is such a it's a little thing, but it's not a little thing. I love the way that you guys integrate your credits page as like it's part of the whole thing. And
Love that attention.
as somebody who
to
struggles
detail.
mightily with credits pages, I really appreciate it, and I'm probably gonna have to steal that idea. So
It's fun to do because like you get instead of like a quote unquote wasted page, you can do a scene that doesn't necessarily move the story forward, but is still visually striking. We decided to make all page 4s in the series our credits page. So when I'm writing, I keep that in mind and I build to that. So I'm building to a splash, and then Joe comes up with the splash, and then Ange comes in and works on where the best place would be to put in the credits.
Yeah, because we both have kind of a cinematic approach to it. So it's almost like the first 3 pages are kind of the prologue of the chapter, and then you see the title, right? And then you see the credits, and then the story moves on. So we try to approach it in that sort of kind of a very cinematic way.
When you're working with the time jump, that's also helpful because it's we have these different ways to distinguish between the eras, right? So we have the colors, we have the gutters, but also when you can have hard breaks like this, that can also be helpful. We don't always have to have a Chiron at the top, although we try to have a Chiron at the top.
Brian, did you notice that the one character there looks a little bit like Ness? See, she's under his arm in there. Do you see her?
Yeah. A little bit.
That looks just a little bit like one of our characters.
I dig it.
Yeah.
So this is
Good
for
character design.
this is for chapter 3. So this is set in the more recent times. So you can see the colors are more toned down, a little bit more drab. Things just like reality just isn't as bright as the way we remember it sometimes.
Yeah.
I love the use and placement of the post-its. Amazing.
Right?
Again, all
Every-
Joe, like this was his concept. It came
Nothing about
across.
this I don't love.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's great.
It's very cool. And
Especially
again, masterful use of the background there to throw in your credits. That's just such a good idea.
even the Polaroids. They also tell a story between this character and what he's kind of gone through his life. So everything's kind of trying to kind of incorporate everything to help the story kind of be more fleshed out.
We worked really hard on world building because when you have something as out there as technology where you can talk to the dead, you have to make people, you have to help people buy into that and make it feel like it's a real place where real people live. So we created, we have ads in the book for the technology, and they're based on 90s infomercials with like lots of little subtext warnings about what detect technology can and can't do, and what levels of radiation you can expect when you're exposed to it, things like that. And we have like National Enquirer type tabloid advertisements for Elvis confesses and like Kurt Cobain's real final words, stuff like that. And that's also a lot of fun to do, but ultimately it's all in service of the story. Like we didn't want it to be extraneous, we wanted it to be additive.
I love that. The look is amazing, and the world building is just obviously going to knock it out of the park.
It's very kind of you to say. Thank you.
Like anybody who's been listening, like, why haven't you backed this book already? It sounds, it's such a good concept, and based on what we've seen, like, you haven't backed it yet. Why not? Look at this art; it's so good.
Right?
Oh, there's the goth girl again. She is like black and white in a sea of color. I love it. And you got really expressive facial, like your facial expressions are really good on it. Sometimes difficult too.
Yeah, I think the most important part about, especially with like character designs, you have to kind of make sure that they look unique, but not too, I don't know, crazy, especially with a story that's very grounded. And one of the things that I was taught, like getting into the business, was when you make a character, you have to make sure that when the character's all blacked out, their silhouette has to be very recognizable or unique to that character. And so I
Nice.
want to make sure that every character, their silhouettes are very unique to their own.
Yeah. And it definitely is.
Yeah, the distinction among the characters, it almost reminds me of like Paper Girls a little bit, like the way that like like how like you're able to like kind of keep like a similar aesthetic but still make them, like you said, very distinct. Like it's really, again, I love your work, man. I love where you put
Thank
the
you.
camera too. It's like very like you said like earlier, very cinematic. It's nice.
A lot of credit actually goes to Ben with a lot of stuff, because obviously they're his characters and they're his the character. I basically just take whatever character description he gives me and I just kind of go with it, right? And thankfully he hasn't really said no to any of them. But
I feel like "go with it's" doing a huge amount of work in that sentence. Like this happens. This comes out of your brain too. So like it's very collaborative.
yeah,
That's the cool thing about comic books, is it's not, I mean, when you have a team that you're working with, a creative team, it's not just any one person who's deciding what is on the page. It's like you get to take advantage of everyone's brain, and that's amazing. Like there's few other, I mean, I guess you could look at cinema as having hundreds of brains on a particular scene, but in reality, like I feel like comics are unique in that ability to harness multiple perspectives, because you don't have an overwhelming amount of input, but you do have more than just one human brain.
I think also everyone here can agree that like when we're making like worlds, we can do whatever we want, and there's no one really stopping us.
There's no budget.
So if you want to make a different style, I have like 4 different styles in this book alone, between all the different like info ads and the different talk shows, and they're wildly different. And I think it was a Wes Anderson quote where he said like, you can just go crazy with the style of how you build this world, as long as you're confident with it, then then it'll work. And
When
so
we were doing the ads, like you can see, Joe just drops into this kind of industrial commercial art space for these random lab coated scientists who are telling you, yeah, you're probably not going to die if you use detox, and then they're just randomly playing chess. Like this is what those ads were like in the 90s. They didn't really tell
Yeah,
you
they
what was going
were.
to happen. Yeah,
I'm
they're
not
like,
a doctor, but I play one in this commercial.
yeah.
you know,
Or even if it's like that kind of World War II propaganda, the cartoons are kind of like, or like the Fallout Pip-Boy type of thing, and
Yeah.
it's all like they're making like a really dark
me
kind
find one
of
of the ads.
situation kind of light. And what's funny is I had the one ad, I'm not sure if you can find it, Ben, but where I had one of the lab doctors holding like a puppy, and they're just talking to the dead, and he's just holding a puppy. And then the other day I saw an ad on TV about some kind of medication with like a laundry list of side effects, and the guy was literally holding a puppy. I was just like, this is crazy. Right? This is actually, it's just
Spoonful of sugar.
So Angela comes up with these designs we have for like the tabloid style stuff, and that was pulled from all the stuff I used to see at the checkout line at the supermarket when I was a kid, like, and that kind of weird cutout art where it's like, and it's similar to here because these are all like royalty free images that we found of these celebrities. So it's the same kind of idea, but yeah, it's just fun to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, this looks great. I love it. All right, so you guys, I'm not gonna like walk everybody through all these. Like, you know how Kickstarter works at this point. You can go check out all the different tiers, but art's amazing, story's awesome. Like, just go back it. What are you doing with your life, you guys? Okay. That being said, let's talk about something that we all spent hour and a half of our life on sometime in the past week. And let's talk about Empire Records. Was it 1995? I want to put every movie at 1993 ever since we talked about Jurassic Park. So
It's 95, yeah.
but I think it's 95. And I'm very curious about why did Liv Tyler end up on the front of every single poster, but not get top billing?
Because she was famous for being a rock musician's kid. And so they put her at the front because it would be recognition.
She was really hot at the
Hey,
time.
John.
She had like just started blowing up from all the Aerosmith videos, so she
Mm-hmm.
was probably the like
Yo.
shiniest trinket. And to the second part of your question, why if she wasn't first billed, probably because she was female.
Also,
That's what my
agents and
thought of
stuff.
that woman. But
Also,
okay,
she
so,
wasn't
like,
a main character.
Yeah.
the kid who
Well, she
the
was.
hell is the main character in this one.
Sure.
I kept asking about that. I was like, is it? No, maybe. But they all kind of were the main character if you think
Oh,
about it.
The creepy
But,
part of
the thing that got me was that the kid who plays Warren was billed above in the credits, billed above Liz Tyler, and I was like, what?
that is so
Why?
weird.
Yeah, right.
Did you know that Coyote Shivers was Liv Tyler's stepfather?
Oh
He
yeah.
was married to her mom, the guitar dude, the like burnout guitar dude. That is super strange. I just finished reading Steven Tyler's autobiography, which was a total slog that I can't recommend to anybody. It's
Oh.
written.
Thanks for the warning.
It's written in kind of like a dreamlike stream of consciousness, and it's Joe and I were talking.
That's
Joe
not
was
that surprising.
was over like a couple of weeks ago, and I was telling him how horrible it was. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff about his relationship with his daughters and whatnot. But it just weird family relations.
Yeah, as far as Coyote Shivers goes, I was a big fan of this, and when I got iTunes, I saw that Sugar High was available, so I downloaded Sugar High, and if you get it, on iTunes, the actual lyrics are like pornography. Like it's not,
Yeah.
sitting on my couch in Saturday Night Live. It is like talking about like gross, invasion of privacy, let's say.
Also,
And,
he's kind of not a cool dude if you look into his personal life, so don't do that.
I was gonna say I heard some stories as well.
Thanks
and
for
some
the
stuff from
warning.
him on the set with Liv's mother. So yeah, he seems interesting.
Nice. All right.
But definitely the movie doesn't have a main character unless that like main character is like corporate synergy or like anti-corporate sentiment. That would be the only unifying thing, I guess.
Well,
That everyone-
it started off with Luke, right? The guy that
Yeah,
that began to give him all
yeah.
the money. So when I
Lucas,
first saw the
yeah.
movie, I wasn't sure if I was watching the right movie because I didn't remember his face on the poster. But his
Mm-hmm.
face is on the poster, but just like in the background.
Yeah, background
Yeah.
turned to the
side,
side.
yeah,
Working on the
Low
poster, yeah.
profile.
yeah.
Rory Cochrane had a weird career, if you think about it. Like, I think he moved to TV pretty much and just ended up doing procedurals or something for like 15 years of his life. Whenever someone disappears in Hollywood, I always assume they married rich or went into procedural television. That's like the two black holes of like no longer making movies.
Rick Moranis did it right, though.
That's true. Well, I mean, sadly though, like for a sad reason. But yeah.
I thought he just did it because he wanted to spend time with family. Was there tragedy?
No, his
involved?
wife died, and he decided not to have his daughters be raised by someone who wasn't like a parent. So he took
Still a noble reason, but
no,
it was
totally
a
noble
tragedy.
reason, totally noble reason. Yeah,
But he's coming back though, right? For
he is.
Space
They're
Force?
supposed to.
Well, they're grown now. You know,
Don't need to be fed every day.
they're like,
By
Dad, please
him."
get a job.
I mean, to be fair, he's probably got a lot of free time on his hands these days, right?
Empty
but-
nester now.
He's like Jay Leno. He's only ever spent the Honey I Shrunk the Kids money and never spent the Spaceballs money. He just keeps that in a vault somewhere.
I want some money in a vault somewhere.
I think we all
Alright.
do.
So, I don't know. What do we like? What do we dislike? Let's just dive right on in.
Okay, before we like go ahead, who has seen this before back when it came out, other than Ben, obviously? Okay, so I just saw it today.
All right.
And so coming from
You
like
guys want me to leave? I
like
just last night was the first I ever seen it.
No,
yeah.
you and Joe are a good baseline for first timers without
Yeah.
nostalgia. So
For
Oh.
first timers, like 30 years later too, which is like really
Yeah.
interesting. No, seriously.
Yeah, like I can see where the nostalgia kind of comes in. Definitely, like especially with all just the way it was filmed, the music and everything. But watching it like just for the first time ever, not great for me, anyways. That's not my type of film. But I can definitely understand where where people kind of can gravitate towards it. It does have that kind of like an indie cult following, I guess. So I can understand it for sure.
You have
What
people like
didn't
celebrate
grab
this
you?
with
Rex Manning Day was recently, isn't it? Like the 28th?
Yeah,
April
April
something.
It was April 8th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just last month.
I love that Rex Manning is like super Billy Idol coded, but also like also not. Like it's the visuals of Idol when he went into his pop phase, but then kind of the personality of just a random pop star, which is kind of an interesting take. I wonder if Idol was ever approached for the film. I have no idea, or if they tried to go for anybody who would anchor them to the real world, because there's so much real world music in the movie and on the shelves and whatnot. Like they don't shy away from that.
And I feel like his wardrobe was kind of like channeling Prince quite a bit. Like I like that he had the kind of frilly,
Like
you
a new
know.
romantic kind of thing.
Even the Brady Bunch thing, it was very interesting, the outfit.
I
Yeah.
guess was it implied that he was kind of forced to get that image?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Dressed up like
controlled,
that?
I think,
That's not-
by
yeah.
the label. Yeah, but he's still like enjoying the fruits of whatever that brings him, right? Like he's not fighting too hard, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he seemed to be the one who was the most upset about the change in hairstyle and stuff. So he was more concerned about the image than the label was. So and I don't know how much the label is forcing him.
That's a good point. We've all made mistakes with hair. I'm making one right now. You know,
Oh,
so
all the time. Nice thing is, it tends to grow back.
well, I mean, past
guys
a certain age.
That's why I said tens. It's not a universal.
My options were removed. I don't get to make bad decisions anymore. It's
You know,
just
the number of times that people have told me you can't cut your hair short because then you'll have to keep it short forever, and I'm like, why? And
What?
also,
That's not how that works.
unfortunately, it does not. It grows very fast. So like cutting a hairstyle for myself is a pain in the ass because I have to go get it fixed in a month.
Yeah.
I can't enjoy it.
That's right.
Like you guys don't get it. It's just as, but it's probably not just as bad as not having any hair at all. But like, it's
but-
gonna
but the-
grow back. It's definitely gonna grow back, and people keep telling me that it won't, and I don't understand that logic.
That is really
I
strange.
just want to point out for the folks that don't have a lot of hair, that's just canvas, and you all are artists. Why are you not taking advantage of that?
That's true.
you're saying
Yeah.
I should like tattoo my. You know what? I'm just gonna get Rex Manning Day on the side.
Just have
you
different
go.
artists do different scenes on the side of your head.
One
Have
side's
fun with
Rex,
it.
one side's Rexy, and the other side's sexy. And you can do your knuckles. You can do your
Do
knuckles too.
it.
No more choices. That's the best one.
More. Can you imagine, like, oh my god, the guy with the Rex Manning tattoo?
Do you
Don't
have
wanna meet him.
did anybody watch Dropout TV? One of the comedians, one of the talent, she got Sam Reich sucks
Yep.
Yes.
saved into her head.
Yeah.
You could
Game
do that.
changer.
Like it's a billboard. It is like it's a free advertisement. Put fisticuffs on there.
Fisticuffs, right? Yeah,
Yep.
thank you. Great idea.
Fisticuffs is an aggressive tattoo though. Like you got to back it up. You know.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
caneld. That's the thing. If
This
you're like
face
fisticuffs, I'm like,
with
whoa.
fisticuffs tattoo or shaved into the side of my head would not meld.
Oh, it'd be fun though for like at least 5 minutes.
It'd be fun for the stunt of like sitting down.
It'll be fun until the first punch lands.
This is great.
Hey, Rex Manning's a fun character to hate though. Like it's.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad,
Oh,
I'm
he
glad
plays
he's in the
it.
movie. You know, he's
No
such a
redeeming
douche.
feature.
Yeah, he's total douche, and like we all are familiar with that media archetype. So like it's really
Yeah.
easy to invest in that and invest in
He
how
didn't
much
need
they
any
suck.
explanation.
No, not at all. All the backstory is in that music video. Apparently they were supposed to film like 15 seconds, and the second unit director or whoever they hired did a full day's shoot, and they had ended up with like a 5 or a 6 minute dance choreography music video, which is I think on the Blu-ray.
Oh, well, shit! I need to go get one of
Whole
those.
thing.
I wish I could just
I-
spend money like that.
I feel like Rex could have actually been an interesting character if they had just developed him a little bit more. Like they made him just sort of the one note aging character who we're not supposed to like, rather
But
than
then you got to take time from the 16 other characters.
I
Yeah, he
mean,
didn't need
that,
to
that
have
was
more
their
notes.
plan. They just kind of shoved them all at us, but they were only supposed to care about two plots. We're supposed to care about the store closing and the money issue and the love story between the tweens, or the teens,
Yeah.
sorry. And those are
And
our
that
two
one,
plots.
the-
Everything else is just sort of like you get thrown a
Padding.
little info here and there.
And it's crazy because
Yeah.
like all the other stuff also includes like a kid with a gun and a suicide attempt and someone's breakdown about promiscuity. Like it's like every issue that occurred in the 90s occurs in one day at this record store.
And don't forget the speed addiction too. Like
Right.
whatever.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget the speed addiction.
Like
There you go.
there was nothing.
'Cause
there was
she's
no
too perfect.
indication of that being a thing at all, right up until we actually see her stick a pill in her mouth.
Right.
And then it was like, where the fuck did that come from?
Well,
And
everyone
it
has to
wasn't
have
the
a
right
flaw.
time, but that wasn't the right time to be taking that pill. Like when you're upset and you don't take a pill to get wired when you're upset, that doesn't track at all.
She wanted
That
to be
was-
Like,
intensely
I've been
upset.
doing this speed stuff wrong then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Feel bad. I want to
script, maybe it
experience
was-
more intensely.
they're doing a teen movie and they're showing drugs badly. It's just sad.
Yeah,
And
but
that,
that
and
was
like
the
there
way.
was not really like where was the references to weed? Like it wasn't there the way that I expected it to be for the 90s.
Well, it
The
is, but it's in a,
entire
it's in a super
character.
weird way.
no,
with-
it was
Warren.
there. It wasn't like there was
The
no.
brownies.
Yeah,
The
but that's a
the
weird
brown-
way to.
That's
That's a
lots of
weird way
sugar.
to.
And apparently they make you hallucinate that a band is trying to kill you and
It is
get eaten
gore.
by a giant worm thing.
It was.
like
It
a
was. Are you
sarlacc.
familiar with Gore?
Oh yeah.
That's on-
I've
that's
heard
on
of
point.
them. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a super
Shameless
strange
plug,
thing.
but shameless
Yeah, I
plug.
don't-
But our Fisticuffs artist Stan did a comic for them recently. So if you guys
Oh, nice.
are Guar fans, look up Guar Stan Yak and see if you can find it.
That's cool.
Nice. That stance art is perfect for that kind of a vibe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally.
I love how Guar is commissioning art and like every corporation is just trying to destroy art. That's like one more thing in favor
Right.
of Guar.
Right. Like if you weren't a fan
Living
before,
artist.
Yeah.
Creatives supporting creatives.
Exactly.
there you are. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I did say earlier before we went live that I liked this movie. It's kind of about like I said it's kind of about nothing in particular, but I really enjoyed watching it. I see the problems. They're there. I see them.
Yep.
Especially, the problems that were like considered fine in 1995 that are not fine now.
They weren't
You know,
fine
the
then.
slut shaming was
The
bad
amount-
and like
the-
starting to make a comeback now though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a crazy amount of like suicide idealization throughout this movie. Like, I mean, there's a lot of like, the fake funeral and everything. Like, it's
Yeah, that
kind of
was
crazy.
weird.
I
Yeah.
think, and this is after The Craft, right? So like, you
Yeah.
have to wonder how much of
Yeah.
that is like we're gonna capitalize on Robin Tunney's image and
Mm-hmm.
try and draw in the Robin Tunney fans that are out there waiting to see her in The Craft 2, which unfortunately never got made. But like, it is
Doing
odd.
it
Like,
now though?
I'm sorry.
Aren't they doing the craft too?
They did a remake, which was
Yeah.
not great, but also
Did
not
they?
good. Yeah, it came out. I want to say 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago.
Something like that.
They recast
I
it.
didn't hear anyone who liked it.
No, it's
No one loved
it's,
it.
It's fine, but I've seen
Okay.
the first one like a dozen times, and I've seen the remake one time. So, kind of, I am also at a
That's
different stage in my life.
Right.
But yeah, and also it's like a hyper white movie.
Hyper
there's-
Oh my
White.
gosh, yes.
Even the
So white.
music is hyper white. I mean, when Warren steals music, he's stealing rap, and it's like thrown away by the staff as though somehow this is lesser than Anthony LaPaglia's AC/DC drum moment, which is a cool moment, but it's it's a very raucous movie in a lot of ways. Like, this is your dad's idea of what a music store is like and what the cool things are that happen at the music store in a fashion,
It's kind of the weird thing that that I like and dislike about the movie, right? Is like I like I was always like one of my favorite like subgenres of movies to me was like the found family,
Oh, and another
you
great
know.
90s thing that we
And-
didn't mention. Yeah.
Yeah, and I whether it's like the notes I have like Star Wars or X-Men or even Seinfeld, just like you find your tribe and you guys everybody like puts their piece in, but like the problem is here is like it's like you said, it's just not a lot of diversity. My note I had is like it's the full spectrum of like titanium white to like mildly Italian. Like it doesn't really
Yep.
go very far. And the other note I had too was, and it's kind of along those lines too, is like the characters they do have are like I said, like the writing, it almost felt like a game of like musical tropes, like musical chairs. or Clue, right? That you would have like Colonel Mustard with the candlestick in the library. It's like they match like the archetype, the stereotype, and the trauma. So you get like, you know, the popular virgin, you know, who's overachieving and she's got the drug addiction. It's like almost like, you know, they were like just like throwing darts at a wall, and like wherever it landed, they like kind of put them together. So it's like it's a nice idea, you know, of like, you know, all these different people kind of coming together. It's almost a little weird watching it, you know, when I tried to watch this critically, because I do love this movie, but I tried to be a little bit more critical of it this time. It's almost weird the way they make this, like the record store out to be like a magical place. Like after she like just killed herself, they're like, she's safe now, she's in the store.
Yeah,
Like,
the idea
no,
you would
she's
be you'd be healed by your fellow coworkers is like a sick idea. You
Like,
know?
I really-
ultra
They were
capitalist
not
idea.
qualified.
But I think that it's because also, like we were saying earlier, there's no more third spaces where people experience things together. I mean, this isn't really a third space because it's work, right? But they have this lounge in the back, which I guess can stand in as a third space. And I think that the idea back then was you could still have employment that if it wasn't remunerative, it was still fulfilling in some way. And that's why you were at the record store. And I feel like that concept is just completely gone.
100%. I felt like that's why I glom on this movie so much. I had a few jobs in my life that were like for the time, like my home, and I get this, but it's just kind of when you look at it critically, this one, you know, it kind of falls apart under the.
I
It's
think
very
people still
superficial.
do absolutely go for jobs though that are along those lines. People who love music are still trying to find, you know, music related jobs. People who love reading still try to get a bookstore job. Like that's absolutely a thing.
But I feel like
that's-
it's been under like I feel like it's been less emphasized though. The opportunities are fewer for both of those things, unfortunately, because we don't seem to value them as a culture. We don't seem to value the idea of like going to a bookstore or going to a music store. Instead, we stream it or we order it online and it shows up at our door, and it reduces those interactions that we see in this movie as like heightened and ridiculous as they are. You know, like we just have fewer of them now.
And a lot of it's not just music or books; it's just common interests, right? Like me growing up as a Chinese kid, being an artist was very difficult, and so being able to go to something like a college where I'm surrounded by people who are also into art, it kind of made me open up a little bit more. So I'm like a very introverted person in general in public, and so I find it very difficult to talk like small talk with people. But once you talk about comics, like I can go on forever. And I think it's this kind of same idea here. It's like they have a common interest that they're comfortable with, which lets them open up to other things because they all feel that they're all kind of the same type of people, I guess.
I wonder if you look back on in the 80s, you would have this kind of movie, but it would be a coming of age story, like a movie like Dead Poets Society. I don't know if anyone here has seen that, where you have these kids who are coming of age at a private school, which sucks. I went to a private school. It was the worst time of my life, but they find this common interest of poetry. And this poetry becomes the thing that connects all of them, even though they're from very disparate parts of society and the world and whatnot. And then they can push through their differences and like find themselves through that. And in Empire Records, it's not a coming of age movie. Everyone is like
Oh,
seemingly.
no, it is.
You think so?
Oh yeah, they were pushing hard for Corey and AJ to be the
because of the
coming
school
of
aspect
age
of it.
school
Yeah,
and falling in love.
Okay.
and
Get out of
growing up
there.
in school.
Because I was going to say some of those characters seem to have
I
found
mean,
themselves.
it is
They're
about
all
her
kids.
virginity.
They're all
It's-
kids in there. The only adults are supposed to be the manager and the Rex Manning, and then Rex Manning's manager. Everyone else is supposed to be a kid.
Okay.
So it's all about.
I
the-
stand corrected. I was thinking they were more like fully formed archetypes who were like not necessarily going to grow over the course of the movie, but yeah, definitely AJ and Liv Tyler's character are very lost at the beginning and seemingly a little less lost at the end.
Yeah, and same for Gina, and
Okay.
I mean, really all of them in one way or another. But yeah, those three are definitely probably the youngest. It's really hard to tell the ages, but
I guess even Warren gets an arc. He goes
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
he goes from petty theft to attempted murder to reformed, like in the space of 90
Warren-
minutes.
To employee,
more of an
yeah.
arc than what was the name of the character that was eating the brownies and getting eaten by Gore?
Oh,
Mark.
Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
Yeah.
With a K.
Yeah, Warren gets more of an arc than poor Warren or Mark
Mark.
there. Yeah.
Well, Mark had to die. That's the what we learned from Guar.
Well,
He didn't get to get eaten by a giant like a Sarlacc thing. What the fuck was that thing?
Mark and everyone in the store seemed to be a little bit of the person who's drawn to the store because they like music, and then any minute now they're going to be in a band or do something music related with their life. And it seems like Mark was picked to be the one that was always going to be starting a band any second now, but doesn't actually ever do it.
Yep.
I have a completely unrelated to any character arcs. Why did they need so many fucking people to work at that store?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
No way that they
And
You
needed that.
saw Mark screaming for
At
help.
the same time.
Right? There's never more than 2 people on the register.
Yeah, like that. What was I? Because that's what I was like. They like 4 of them punched in right away in the morning, and I'm like, but why?
Yeah,
Why?
Sarah, you're being Karen right now. Is there somebody who can help me right now? You're all just standing
2 on the
around.
register, 2 on the floor, getting everybody squared away.
And then
That's not
6
unreasonable for a large
maybe I've just
store.
been jaded and beaten down by like. Now nobody works at any of the fucking stores that you go to, and you have to
And-
scream into the void if you want something.
And they won't hire very many people, but you're supposed to cover the whole store by yourself. Yeah.
And,
Like,
but there's
you get
also sorry, go on.
Oh, just, when you are helping someone at the customer service level at something like this, you will end up in a conversation with someone, and that takes time. They'll probably buy more as a result, so that's great. But that means somebody else still needs help. So you do need like 2 people on the floor.
And you need 6 people in the lounge at all times.
I mean, of course, somebody's got
And
to
someone on
They
the
should have installed a
drums.
self-check to make
Yeah,
it
always
even
somebody on the drums.
smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how LaPaglia's character is like his fatal flaw as a character is his heart is just too big.
right.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
kind of pushes
I know.
brain out, though.
I had kind of a weird take watching him this time. Like, I don't know. I thought he was like right up there with Rex Manning in terms of character. You know,
Really?
he's
Wait, what do you mean by that?
well. I mean, all right. So this is what I thought. Okay, it's kind of weird how like abusive he is to the males and kind of like soft and creepy he is to the females he interacts with.
Mhm.
We kind of get the hint that he's maybe not the best guy the way he handles the females. And frankly, he just
You gotta
beats
stop
the
saying
shit out of
females,
it.
man. You gotta stop
Yeah,
saying
women,
females.
women.
Sorry.
We're gonna attract an
sadly, in this
unwanted
case,
element.
Girls. Those were underage girls. Those were girls.
Well, that's another tangent I
Underage
can
women.
get on. I really, I mean, it's always been a thing, but the way they cast like young adults to play teenagers, but yeah, no, but also he just beats the shit out of that young man, that teenager.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, he's not a very and like what because he was nice to him once and took him in, he's allowed to just rough him up.
Okay, that's the other piece. That he's supposed to be his foster father, and they never reference it in any sort of paternal
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It just gets dropped briefly into the funeral, and then they walk away from all of that, and we're
Well-
seing their interaction in a whole new light. He just abused his son.
One of like 17 drop plot points in the movie.
Oh, so many drop plot points. It was very
Right?
annoying.
Oh my gosh.
You could have axed so many other things and like developed some of the other plots. It would have been amazing. We didn't need the slut shaming scene at all. It made no sense. There's no reason why the character would have gone off like that, but they decided to put it in there.
And they needed women to have conflict, and what's easier than by having one of them by
They-
having that be over a man, of some
Right? They
kind.
already had the built-in conflict for she's going off to college in a whole different state with leaving behind her, childhood friend, and that's the coming of age trauma that's coming barreling at them. They absolutely could have worked with that, but instead they amped it up dumbly and went with the slut shaming, the statutory rape, the just going down the whole. Everyone's horny on Maine, and that's okay, even though they're underage. Sleeping with 40-year-olds.
Realistic at a store for everyone to be horny on Maine, though, like at that time in their lives. But we don't need to
Yes.
see it that way. Like it's
Well, but in that era, it was they were trying for a raunchy 80s movie, but also trying for 90s slacker movie where it wasn't
Yeah.
so raunchy.
yeah, you
And
could have
so
sex
they-
as long as it was accidental or you didn't really want it that bad.
or a little conflicted about it or what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this feels good. I don't know.
Yeah. So they didn't quite nail it, if you will.
Nice.
This is why it's easy for me to say that this movie's kind of about nothing in particular, because they do have so many of the plot points, and it's just so much. They're big deals and they never get resolved. Like the foster parent thing, And
What was up with Deb and Burko? Like, we never found out what the thing
Yeah.
was that
I was
he
gonna-
did that
apparently he did
might have upset
something.
her. Maybe.
Yeah, that,
They
like,
Might
just
have been.
very briefly says something that indicates that he was the reason. Him not paying attention to her was the reason that she tried to kill herself.
or he did something. He's like, was it what I did last night? Was kind of his comment. And then she was like, no, it has nothing to do with you. But
And
we
it's
don't
like-
know. They just drop
But then
it.
when he was behind her and he said something, and then she said something about you didn't care last night or something too.
Yeah.
To go
Yeah.
back there and find that one, because that like it, whatever it was definitely those that like he did something to make that happen to her. And she makes it very clear that she's super messed up too, so we're not saying that she didn't do that to manipulate him either, but something happened there and we don't get to know anything about it.
And she's like acting circles around him too, like throughout the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
He is very limited in terms of what he could portray on the screen. Yeah.
And also, I really kind of hated the line. I mean, it is still a significant, it is still a suicide attempt, even if it is with like a lady Vic. And
Yeah, that's weird.
And I also really hate the fact that she tried to kill herself, and Joe's solution was like to compliment her on taking inventory. Like, you're doing much better at work. So I don't know. I thought that was weird.
I thought that was
tracks,
on
though.
track for someone who doesn't know how to handle emotional
Yeah,
stuff
he
very
was
well. And
very
especially for an
moderate,
employee,
awkward.
even if you are,
Yeah.
like what do you say? There's no counselor on site.
Yeah.
I
You
would
like
love
probably
to-
shouldn't say anything
Yeah.
at all, right? Like, but he's forced into
Right.
that situation.
But what else could but
People
he
in the
couldn't
90s
say
were not
nothing
well
either,
versed in
right?
psychology.
Yeah.
How do we deal
Yeah,
with depression? Oh,
absolutely
give 'em a
was trying to
lollipop.
say
That makes people
you're-
happy.
You're doing well in other areas of your life, and I hope that helps you realize you have extrinsic worth. And please don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was not a great. It was meant to be awkward, and they
Own that
nailed
fake
that.
funeral thing too. What was that about?
Mm.
That fake funeral was not a smart thing to do. I get that their hearts were in the right place, but like that is not how you convince somebody to not be suicidal.
Not only that, but the whole frickin' fake funeral was about everyone else talking about their shit, and then they start to
Yeah.
talk about her, and that's when the gunfire starts, and they stop the funeral altogether. So it was a completely pointless scene.
I just want to say it's wild that we're talking about a movie where there's a fake funeral where everyone is like confessing their darkest secrets, and then you say, and that's when the gunfire starts. And it's a movie about a record store.
Yep.
It's just,
Oh yeah,
they're just throwing everything on the screen.
everything on the screen. I did not enjoy how they had every single woman be treated poorly and or have all of these fatal flaws where
Crazy, yeah.
yeah, it was all about the crazy, like the most like they did the whole Madonna whore best friends complex kind of thing, and then the other woman is going to be the crazy one who tried to kill herself, and they won't go into further details. Just when AJ finds out that Deb attempted suicide, he tries to physically stop her from leaving the back room and is like in her physical space, white knighting his ass off. And it is wildly inappropriate. And then Lucas comes up and is touching her head. Like the way that they are willing to just physically get into someone's space when they know they're traumatized was just so gross. Like the women being objects throughout the movie was definitely a strong theme, along with being just sort of emotional and not really logical people. The manager just quits her job randomly and then shows back up. Corey decides she really is in love with AJ, even though I think we all see the writing on that wall. Like, yeah,
That's for me. That's one of the worst parts of the movie is like that plot.
Yeah,
just
those-
like,
so
we're gonna go to college.
but it is really believable that he would be so totally clueless as to someone else's emotional state and like not understand that this is completely not when he should be having this conversation. And I thought
Right.
that her reaction to that was maybe one of the truer moments where she's just so befuddled by the fact that this guy who claims to love her can't pick up on the clues that this is the worst day of her life and maybe not say this shit to me right now. And like, she's just like, what is going on? And like, the bewilderment, I think, plays really well there, but I hate that moment
and
overall.
I annoyed
Oh yeah.
the shit out of me that AJ was so pissed off, not about the fact that she asked him not to and he did it anyway and she didn't receive it well, but he was pissed off that she told him that she just tried to throw herself at Rex Manning. and it did not go well. Like he was mad because she wanted someone else in a sexual way, and it was somebody other than him. And I
And
was
if
like,
they're
she's not in
such good
possession,
friends,
dude.
Yeah.
he knows
Ugh.
that already. Like if they're such good friends, like they claimed in the movie, he
Yeah.
would have already
Right?
known about that crush.
We talked about this like kind of I think before on another. I don't remember which episode it was, but it
Probably,
actually
yeah.
you guys mentioned Can't Hardly Wait, and this is another one. How like in the '90s they really kind of like normalized that like stalkery relationship, that like love somebody from afar and then big grand gesture like I love you, and like it's not a healthy way, and like we really don't. Like it's funny, like they're supposed to be good friends, AJ and Corey, and like do they interact at all before he makes that big proclamation to her? Like they don't.
Well,
really.
there's so many other people to interact with at Empire Records. It's tough to like. You have to make an appointment, and you get a 15-minute slot, and you have to be at the cash at the same time. So like, it's really you're really juggling your
And
emotions.
did you notice after the stuff happens with Corey, what is AJ doing dancing and getting naked in the middle of the damn store with Deborah? What was that about?
He's trying to make her jealous. I thought he was
I-
like,
it was-
Why
well,
is
he
Deb
didn't-
ripping off his shirt?
Yeah, like why were they about to bone in the middle of an open public store?
Don't they have a listening booth? They must have a listening booth.
Oh, they
Yeah,
showed
they
several
did.
people
One
making out in the
person
listening
like
booths.
affected it.
Yes. Yeah, none of it did not make sense. It did not track. They did
No,
not
it was
world
weird,
build
yeah.
like you all do.
We thank you for it.
Let-
I just looked into the guy who played AJ. I had no idea what he'd done. Apparently, he's been in a Marvel movie and the CW series The 100.
Okay.
And he looks really good for a 50-year-old right now. I'm super jealous, I guess.
Good for him.
Yeah. Spot on.
But I haven't thought of him in literally 30 years. So
Right? Yeah.
yeah. But when I came on the previous time and Amanda destroyed Can't Hardly Wait, which she really should have, and was completely justified, and I felt shame for months for having brought that to the attention of this podcast. But this time I am fully aware of the flaws in Empire Records, and it's fun to talk about them. And it's also the fact of the parts of Empire Records that inspired or that are linked to our book are really just the vibe and the era and the disparate characters. So like I wanted to capture some of that when we have the book, just like some of that energy, not the weird whitewashed aspects of it, but like the way it really was when people were in those spaces. And no one ever made that movie, at least not about the 90s. I don't the only other real like music store movie from that period, it comes out I believe in 2000, so right after, would be High Fidelity, which is hugely problematic for a lot of other reasons, but and it also doesn't pass the Bechdel test like Empire Records surprisingly does. But like you have these two faces of the same coin, where one is this, I mean, Empire is seemingly a very corporate store. Like it doesn't come across as the indie store where you go on the corner and it's small and cramped and there's, unusual records. It feels like a pretty mainstream store that has some cool music. Whereas High Fidelity is the kind of store where you walk in and they aggressively don't want to sell you anything.
Yeah.
And that's like the different types of music stores you had in the 90s that were independent. No one would ever want to buy High Fidelity and franchise it and turn it into something else. But so I didn't want to grab that energy. I didn't want that weird like last starring role for Cusack energy in our book. Instead, it's all about the Empire Record kids.
But do they have a cool dance montage moment?
No, my favorite moment in High Fidelity, this is going to sound weird, I actually have a red phone behind me. I love when one of the characters beats another character to death with a phone. That's like a personal thing that I like in movies. It doesn't get to happen very often. You see it occasionally in like mob movies, but it was nice. It was a nice touch in High Fidelity. I know that makes me sound like a monster, but we all have
Only
our...
if you carry a phone with you all the time. Like
I got another one.
It's got to be the older style phone that's got the good cling
The
noise.
heft. The heft. Yeah.
And the little chime noise.
And they all,
Otherwise,
you
what are
can
you
reach
doing?
in. There's like a little handhold too. Like it's perfect.
Yeah.
The bottom's
Gotta
like
get the
metal,
grip.
so it's perfect for hitting it.
I call
if
it
you're
self...
interested in doing this, I can help you convert one to Bluetooth. You think I'm joking?
It's a self-defense phone.
He's,
Yes.
He's being 100% honest too. Like,
Oh yeah, no,
he's
100%.
definitely gonna offer you that. That is a real thing, and
I'm
that's
not freaking kidding.
I thought you were going to offer me something else. Like, if you want to make this happen, I know someone who will not be
If you want
missed.
to kill
Like,
a
that's
God.
right. That's what I thought the end of that
call.
sentence. Yeah, the end of that sentence was a little different in my mind.
No, if you want to kill a person with a phone, I can help you with a phone. The electronics.
You're an, you're an
However
accessory either way.
Carry that phone around. I mean, it's perfect.
I mean, there's a number of ways to kill someone with a phone. So
That's true.
You have to get specific or creative.
You can have like a
Either's
long cord.
Yeah,
Depends
in
on the
Atomic
tone
Blonde,
you're
didn't
trying
he
to set.
strangle what's her face with the phone cord. Like,
good. Oh, yeah.
Sarah, you
It's
can-
also
use
a
the phone to kill
classic.
somebody.
Sarah,
Yeah.
you can make the graphic for the T-shirt. Phones don't kill people. I kill people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
shirt's going to generate a lot of questions.
And probably in more than a few purchases.
That made me think about there is a number of like kind of like one-liners in Empire Records that got a legit chuckle out of me.
There's one that I really
I don't
hate.
feel the need
explain
I don't
my-
feel the need to explain my art to you, Warren.
That's in my
Oh
head.
my God.
That's in my head on a loop.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really, I actually, one of my notes was, screw you, AJ, Mr. Miyagi is Japanese. I really hate that line.
No, not even
And-
Japanese, Chinese.
No,
the
he is
Chinese guy,
Japanese,
right?
though, but he makes the joke that he's Chinese. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like,
hate
that's- Yeah.
Like,
Guy
I hate
who
when they,
plays-
Mr. Miyagi is a
Miyagi
Japanese character, and he
Japanese
makes a joke
I
that he's
thought
like
Pat
Chinese.
Morita was
yeah.
I thought he was Japanese.
He's Japanese.
He's Japanese, yeah.
Yeah,
joke
but
was
he's
he's
definitely
Chinese.
Japanese in the movie.
They
Yeah,
call him
the Karate
Chinese.
Kid.
The Chinese guy from Karate Kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a very 80s 90s thing where it's like I don't really you pretend to be ignorant and then say the ignorant joke, like, and that's the punchline. It's Entourage did that all the time.
They made, I mean, Kevin Smith made like 16 movies that were essentially that over and
Oh,
over
yes.
and over.
Yes, we all know about Kevin Smith on this show. I had the same experience you did, Benjamin, where I'm like, man,
Plus
Man's
the
really
Clerks
gonna like
series.
this one. And
Oh
then
man, did you bring in Mallrats or
I
Chasing
brought
Amy?
in
Which one
Clerks.
was
She
it?
ate me alive.
Clerks? Wow.
Yeah, you'd think that's the good one, right?
And
you know,
spit
that,
out
you
the
know,
bones.
has some artistic. And the fucked up thing is, I'm sorry for the language, but it's like if I picked any other movie, like at least it's like shot well, and you can say the cinematography's good, and like Clerks isn't even in focus, so I had nothing good to say.
Arguably the best soundtrack out of his 90s era movies.
Oh
though.
yeah, for sure. I love that soundtrack. And this soundtrack, we didn't talk enough about it. Like there's
This
a lot of good
soundtrack
picks
is
in here.
fantastic. Yeah.
It had Daniel Johnston. I mean, what a deep cut, you know.
I love the Gin Blossoms track that's on here. Although like that band is, I don't know if you're familiar with what happened, but like the dude who wrote all of their songs was excommunicated from the band because he was a raging alcoholic, and then he died. Like he basically drank himself to death because they kicked him out, and they've spent their whole careers dining off of his music and making tons of money off of his music, basically because the label, like, they forced him out of writing credits and performance credits and everything too. It's like a super sad story. So like I love that era of their music with the acknowledgement that like it killed the guy who wrote it, which is pretty terrible. But yeah, great
Oh,
soundtrack.
no.
It's like Gin Blossoms.
Okay.
Bad joke.
I get it.
I read that the Wikipedia says the screenwriter for Empire Records got 1% of the soundtrack royalties. That's insane. Like, what a great deal. How do you make that happen from a spec script? Like, that's some agent food that is just amazing.
I did listen to an interview with the writer, and it sounded like she had some very specific ideas about music, and was telling them not to hire anyone to do additional music. That it should all be through the soundtracks. Maybe it was she was acting sort of agenty for which music was supposed to be on there.
That'd be cool.
'Cause- yeah. And apparently she picked the Gin Blossoms because they were from Arizona, where she had like based things. So
Indeed they are. Indeed they are. Yeah, I think also one of the last truly great soundtracks of, I mean, obviously it's a mid-90s movie, so there's a few that come after it, but I don't know how many had the kind of cultural staying power that the Empire Records soundtrack did. Probably bigger than the movie itself, I would think. Just in the minds of most people. It was easier to encounter the music on the radio or in a music video than to actually go to the theater and see that particular movie. But there weren't a lot of great like music movie soundtracks that came out after that. Like the High Fidelity soundtrack is not memorable. You know, I mean, it's fine, but you're not like going out and grabbing it, like I did with this one because I was programmed to do that as a teenager. Yeah.
I did really like that era when like the movie and the soundtrack were closely tied.
Yeah. Yeah. I started writing a series just for fun recently about bad movies that have fantastic soundtracks. It's a surprisingly fertile vein. The most recent one I wrote about was Maximum Overdrive, which is the movie Stephen King doesn't remember directing because he was deep in his coke period. He has no memories whatsoever of being involved in that film.
That is the whole genre we should explore sometime. Just either the actor or the director or writer does not remember for reasons.
It's wild. I mean, the whole movie, and there's like lots of crazy stories of the crew working with him, and he has like just no recollection. But the only reason AC/DC did the soundtrack because they were his favorite band, and he just called them up because you're Stephen King. You can just call up AC/DC, be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Do you want to do the soundtrack to this movie I'm making that I won't remember?" And they were like, "Yeah, okay, we'll write like 2 new songs, and then the rest will be greatest hits." And to this day, it's the only greatest hits album AC/DC ever did, and it was a huge seller for them. And like, Who Made Who was the lead track, and really it revitalized them at the end of the 80s. So it's like the best thing to come out of that movie, which is, I mean, borderline unwatchable.
That's fascinating.
All right.
So, would you put together a playlist that you think ties to your comic?
So we've done that a few times.
Nice.
What we started doing for the first issue, back when I was still using Spotify, which I no longer do for various ethical reasons, but the playlists are still up because they're tied to the Kickstarter account on the public part of my Spotify account. Anyway, we did playlists for Michelle's Britpop show, and we did one for Josie's dance music show. What we've done for this campaign is I put together 2 playlists for Fairy's Metal Show on YouTube. 2 playlists on YouTube. One is for Fairy's Metal Show, and then we have one for Esmeralda's alt rock show, which is called I Hate Myself and Want to Dye My Hair. So those are up now.
Very nice.
And what we're doing for the Kickstarter, there's Angela Hodge, designer. She's a product designer for her day job, and she's fantastic. And she came up with this 3D printed cassette tape that we're offering. It's a full-size cassette tape. It comes in a case, has a little J card, and there's a download code where you can get 10 episodes of Dead Air Radio. So I was on a local FM station for about a year and a half doing Dead Air Radio as a 90s music show. And I would do some episodes in character as the DJs from the book, some episodes just basically doing genre stuff for the various, because every DJ has their own genre. And we're picking 10 of the best of those, and you get a download link and you can grab those.
Super cool.
That sounds amazing.
It's a lot of fun to do. Like, it was doing the radio show, doing Dead Air Radio really forced me to go deep on 90s music, because I was doing it back in the day, but I was also like, I started doing university radio when I was 16, and I did it for probably 5 or 6 years. And you're not a serious person at that age.
True.
The music that you put, I was playing whatever I wanted, and it wasn't just 90s. I was doing, I was in that decade, but like pulling from before and stuff too. And so when I went back to make the 90s radio shows, let's say I wanted to do goth music, well, you suddenly realize that like most of the great goth music ended in like the early 90s, late 80s, and you start to really explore where it went from there and discover new groups and like how it became industrial and how it became like electric body music and that kind of stuff. And so it was illuminating for me to like interrogate a lot of my assumptions about genre from that era and create the shows around them. It was really fun. Sorry, that got super nerdy about music.
We love it. That's amazing. And it's exactly what we think about when we talk about how the movies progress and have morphed and changed in the themes that come through and the different categories that split out. Music very much the same way as the branching out.
Yeah.
It's a great rabbit hole to fall down.
And like today, I mean, with music, I did a few shows where I would try to grab music from a more modern era that is sonically tied or inspired by music from the 90s, and then you start to look at acts that are either making something new out of that era or haven't been able to escape that era and are still making good music, and that's always interesting too. There's always like ones that surprise you, and they just couldn't I guess the gravitic pull of their glory days was too strong.
So they were sort of Rex Manning it.
Yeah, Rex Manning it, but like in a positive way,
Right.
not in a sad way, not in a like you're so sexy way.
They really tried to make him sad sack, but he wasn't that sad sack. Like the woman singing opera was meant to be highly comedic, but I kind of thought, I mean, her singing was not that bad. And as a tribute goes, like having fanfic songs is, I
True.
mean, that's kind of
It's
cool.
up there. Yeah.
That's a good point. And
I'll
like,
take it.
I think it'd be like if somebody cosplayed as one of your comic book characters and showed him, be
Yeah.
like, hey.
Joe, has anyone ever sang to
hell
you
yeah.
at a con?
So I'm sorry, repeat that.
Has anyone ever sang to you at a con?
Oh no, I've had some weird ones though, like weird requests, but
I want to hear one weird request.
Right.
Yeah, you can't
It's
open
it's not weird in a funny way. It's weird in a pretty bad way. Where
Okay.
Do you have any
Stand
weird funny
future?
ones?
Okay, so there was a period of time, maybe a couple of years, where there was this one fan who wanted female superheroes or characters to be stuck in glue,
Oh wow.
like stuck on the ground in glue, and it sounded very sexual, but he claims it wasn't.
Does that make
but-
it better though?
No, that means it's about
yeah.
power and control. That's
Yeah,
not better.
Maybe he
had a-
didn't want
he had
to
a binder
admit it to
just full.
himself.
Yeah.
Did you draw them?
so-
Did you?
He
honor
had
the
binders
request?
full of women. Was it? Was it?
like
What's his-
like artwork? Like
Nothing
artwork
good
from
follows
comic book-
that
Yeah,
statement.
it's
No, but who am I thinking of? Presidential nominee. Why can't I think of his name?
Yeah, I'm also blanking on, but I know who you mean. Binders.
The
of
guy
Women.
is his dad ran AMC. I don't know. He also had binders full of women. A sentence that will never leave my head now.
yeah.
Wait,
It
I'm
was
really.
Mitt, wasn't it?
Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney.
There we go.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm curious,
Yeah.
how did-
Oh God, that was so awkward.
How did you respond to that request? Did you honor it?
Uh,
Did you give
okay,
him
so
the
this
view, or?
this happened when I was really young, like fresh into the industry. So I did one, and then just felt weird, so I just didn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then
You gotta
you know,
get paid.
yeah, going into the industry when you first go in, like I had some stories where I go into a convention, and my first convention, the company that I was working for, which I won't name, they were giving away free head sketches to anyone that wanted one, and so there was a lineup, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
basically worked for free for 8 hours,
Woof.
and I didn't know any better. I was like 21 and just getting into the industry, and I'm thinking,
Yep.
hey, I'm in, and I can do this, and so I learned pretty quickly from that. But yeah,
Hearing
it's
that
just,
made my hand cramp.
yeah,
Right.
it was
Yeah,
rough.
no kidding.
Yeah, it was rough. And they weren't even like the greatest because you're just pumping those up at that
Oh,
point,
yeah.
just drawing them like 2 minutes each, and yeah, a lot of like weird kind of con people. There are definitely a lot of eccentric characters out there. And you learn that there are reasons for it, so you deal with it a little bit differently. Like this person clearly maybe has an issue with socially, or maybe this person has like anxiety with public places. So when they interact with you, it's very different. But you have to realize it's not different in a bad way; it's different in a different way, and you have to kind of put your eyes in their through their perspective and kind of understand what they're going through. So you kind of have to kind of ease them, saying like, this is not really a cool thing, so I won't do it, but good luck with what you're trying to find, and be safe and that sort of thing. But yeah,
Diffuses the situation. Yeah.
exactly.
That's a
it's-
great way to put it.
There have been some
Yeah.
really weird ones, and you just kind of learn from experience at that point. So
Sorry to dredge up those memories with my question. I apologize.
I'm just gonna cry at night now. It's no big deal.
Well, we can
Your
unpack
crying
the trauma
couch is right there.
afterwards. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Hey, how about we do the quiz? That'll be
Oh
fun,
yeah, the
right?
quiz. So who wrote the quiz?
Good segue.
I think Amanda was supposed to.
Amanda
Or no,
wrote the
she-
quiz.
I did. I did not.
Oh, no.
I did not.
Uh-oh,
know
we'll,
this.
we'll have a quiz this week.
Okay, well, we're not going to do a quiz this week, but I can
I mean,
still
we
show
made it
you
to an
guys.
hour.
Actually, you know what? That's cool because I was gonna give you guys all. So I'll just everybody can have one.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's great.
Brian, if you want to get real fun with it, like we could do badges.
Oh yeah, yeah.
If you got a couple laying around, we could just do badges for everybody.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that'd be
I can
good.
cover the shipping for that, y'all.
Could even
So-
do the clear Dymo label
Oh,
tape.
yeah.
Yeah, you got some of that? I think we got some of that.
Yeah.
The I work here stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it was to find a reference photo for that? They were not clear enough anywhere.
You
on
just
the
like
movie.
freeze frame, freeze frame,
Yeah.
freeze frame.
It was like you get a brief, like 2 seconds when he's sticking the name onto Warren's, which again, why'd that guy get? He was not even old enough to have a job. He was 12. Come on.
But he had a
They
gun.
were all underage.
Like, well, you're old enough after a certain age to have, depending on what state you're living in, you can have a job at 14 or 15 or 16.
Apparently,
especially-
Joe picks up 13-year-olds out of foster care and puts them to work. So this
Yeah.
is right on track.
Yeah, that's the child labor stuff I did not consider when watching this movie.
Every teenager who works for Joe is a policy failure.
Yeah, pretty much.
But didn't they use the fact that he was underage, so he can get away like out of jail?
Yeah,
Basically.
There's like
Yeah.
there's like
Yeah.
an
And
offhand
because it was
comment.
blanks.
Punching a weapon. Yeah, he's like, since they were blanks, there's really nothing we can do. I was like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not how that
Jesus
would work.
Christ, at least
But
they can
Since
take
he's
pictures.
white, there's not much
Yes.
we can do.
since he's a white boy, it's okay. We can't interfere with this promising future.
Right.
Joe
So,
Joe,
like-
He
Joe
listens
needs
to rap.
Joe needs Empire Records needs meat for the mill. They gotta get that guy in uniform and get him in there.
No, for
Oh,
all
that's what the
the
cops are just on the take.
that Joe has, that scene where Gina gets naked and then puts the apron on, and she
Apron,
has
yeah.
nothing but the apron on. For all his flaws, he does not make any comments. He does not look inappropriately. He's not ogling her.
He's not
just like,
lecherous.
oh, put your clothes back on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he does not, like, he absolutely, she would be, at some point she has thrown herself at him because that's the kind of person they wrote her to be. So like, you can just assume that that's in there somewhere. Which
I don't know that they were
Okay,
writing her all that
but-
slutty. Like
Or-
aside from the big slut conversation, the whole thing was
Roxanne
just
thing, why?
she's gone and had sexual partners that she's wanted to have, but they haven't made it sound like she's like a nympho who's banging everybody because she's trying to work through trauma. It just sounded more like she was,
Yeah.
And the
but
person
I
calling
just-
her that was prudish. So, like,
mm-hmm.
That's a
it
good
could
point.
have
And
been
also
two
extremely
people.
jealous, and just got her illusion of her teenage idol shattered by, which I'm still not entirely sure what happened with that, because
They added it. The writer said that the first draft, it was just about the two girls like talking about the whole college thing and how their friendship was splitting apart, and like maybe pipe dreaming how they might be able to stay friends in the big city or something. Then second draft, she would like to meet Rex Manning. Someone else wrote in that she wanted to lose her virginity to Rex Manning, and so that became a
was
whole
weird.
thing.
And
And then they
then-
wrote
yeah,
in
and
the
then when-
slut shaming scene, and it's like
she gets it, like, well, she got him into the room, and like she was gonna get exactly what she asked for, and then all of a sudden she's like, ugh, and runs away, and I was unclear
Because
what
she-
exactly happened.
Yeah.
She
wanted romance and
Yeah.
sexy time
Yes,
sex. He
he
was
was
like,
just
"Give me a
like-
blowjob, babe." Whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
It's
and that's
not-
the only thing I can. That's the
It
only
was
thing
like
because like
fantasy versus real politic.
Yeah,
like
she
colliding
wanted a
in that
music
moment.
video of love.
yes,
romance,
she wanted it to
and-
be so much more. Yeah, music
wanted a
video
quick
than it
blowing.
was. Yeah,
Right,
and that's the
and-
only thing that I could get out of that. I was like, okay,
I
that's
what I
will
got.
extend him just the tiniest sliver of grace if a 16-year-old girl comes in and talks about marriage and then says, "Let's have sex." You should definitely figure out a way to get her out of that room.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just
all right.
realized I left my keys in.
Then they ruined
Toronto.
it by having him actually sleep with the other 16-year-old. So that was not good. Or I guess 17-year-old,
They
whatever.
don't
I don't know,
really
like-
explicitly say what their ages are in here,
Oh,
but you just
but they were
they're
under-
high schoolers. They're high schoolers.
I
Yeah.
think
all
that
of
for me, like I saw it when I was 15, so they were older than me, and like in my mind, I project them into they are adults, right? Because like,
Right?
and, like,
Them
it
very much
stayed-
under 20. And-
yeah,
I
but
think
it's like
that
it-
Lucas is 18 because I've never gone to a casino that they do not aggressively card you, and he managed to get into a big casino in Atlantic City. I'm like,
Yeah.
They said he's a
I
minor.
think that he's 18. I don't know. He's got to be.
He
18,
also
'cause he
has
would
to
not-
go to concerts. He probably has some sort of fake ID.
That's true. That's true. Still.
Joe, you
So,
ever
yeah.
been carded at a casino in Canada?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah,
remember
for
if I have. I'm not sure.
it was actually a badge of honor. Like the older I got, the more I got carded. I was like, yeah, you
Right?
still look
Yeah.
kind of young, you know.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. When you got the baby
um,
face, you're like, all right, they're
yeah,
finally
my
coming
my
at me.
hair got gray, and then I couldn't
You
pull
show
it
up
off
with your
anymore.
walker and
Yeah, basically.
fit in with the crowd. I mean, that's the casino crowd up here.
Yeah.
Or you just be, you don't even have to show up with a walker. Now you just walk and like your bones crunch funny and they're like, oh yeah, you
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say they hand you a walker as you go in.
I mean,
Like
there's
white-
some
Complimentary
of them.
walker.
White glove
Yeah.
service for your walker.
This one has flames going up the legs.
Nice.
Well, I mean,
Diet
I-
Coke,
For cool
ma'am.
people.
I did get a fake ID when I was young. I'm not sure if you guys did, but like even back then,
Yeah.
I think I
I
got
need
one.
one.
It's not like you can just print cards.
Well,
Yeah.
back then there was a guy that I knew who actually did the what do you call it, the water transfer
Watermarks.
Oh, the
Yeah.
seals.
prints?
and everything.
Graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Where
went
he
to a
scratched
pol-
off the old number, put the new number on. It was really nice, actually.
I went to a
It was only
police
$20.
auction.
Yeah, well done.
Nice.
High
Yeah.
quality.
I went to a
Yeah.
police auction when I was like 16, and I bought a plastic card maker from a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Because up in Quebec, they make a hospital card for you when you go in, and it has all like the print. It's like pushed out and whatnot. So we had that, and then we discovered that in Prince Edward Island, which is a province of Canada that's super tiny, their driver's license was a green piece of cardboard with a photo and a signature on it. And so in high school, we just made a ton of Prince Edward Island driver's licenses and like embossed the signature on them and laminated them. And like that was a small business for a little while.
Yep.
Then no one ever got caught with them. I mean, no one knows what a PEI license looks like. But when I first got my license in Quebec, they were useless for ID because they had no photos. Our driver's
Okay.
licenses for years were just a blue piece of paper with your signature on it. And so when I would travel outside of Quebec, even to Ontario, but anywhere in the States, it's useless as ID. I can't use it. And then when they made licenses with photos, there were no birthdays. It was encoded in the license number. And so I go to like Massachusetts or Vermont, I would hand them this card. First of all, it's in French. Second, I have to convince them that this sequence of seemingly random numbers and characters is my birthday. It's not happening. You know, like you have to have a passport at that point.
Yep.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
From the
It's making me
State
think
of
how our
trust me,
social
bro.
security card is considered not ID but ID, and they demand we present it, but there's no photo attached. So really,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. Weird. All
Well,
right.
sorry I killed that.
No,
That's okay,
love
we've
hearing about the.
So yeah, it's very interesting little piece of trivia about Canada. I did not know.
I also wonder how many of the adults just kind of look the other way
Oh, for
because
sure.
it was like,
it's
yeah,
more money, right?
sure.
Like, yeah.
And it's the kind of trouble you kind of expect kids to get into as they're getting towards adulthood. Like if you'd looked 12 and presented it, they probably wouldn't have. But since you were getting older, it was like a within spec of rebellion for teenagers in the area kind of thing.
Yeah. And in Quebec, it's 18 as well, the drinking age.
Oh
So-
yeah, then
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
But I remember for us, it was about like we were talking about earlier, getting into shows. And, you know, often shows that I was working at, like the radio station, we would rent out a bar and I'd spend a couple hours setting up for the band. And then I would get kicked out by the staff
That's
because they'd be
awful.
like, all right, you've worked and now people are coming in to drink and you're not welcome here because we know how old you are. And that happened at a couple of venues and that really sucks.
That sucks so much. Is there any rule where like if you have a parental unit, you can stick around? There's some bars in the US that you can do that.
So I was a rave promoter before I was in comics, and we rented all sorts of venues. And in Quebec, bars, if you have a restaurant permit, you can have minors there. It's okay with adults present. But if you have a bar, it's a big no-no. In Ontario, where we also rented a lot of venues, you can lock up the liquor at a certain hour and keep going past hours, and you can have a designated area for minors as long as minors are identified and are not allowed near the bar. So that's like the exceptions, and that's
Yeah, that didn't work. That didn't work at all.
I mean, you gotta tag them and they can't be free range. That's
yeah,
all.
it's like the big black X's on the hands and stuff, and with
Yeah.
marker and yeah.
But everyone found a way around that stuff. So.
Oh yeah, you just like go into the bathroom and wash it
Yeah.
off,
Well,
right?
yeah,
Like
well, even the stamps, there's these red stamps that to prove that you're in the club. Like
Yeah, you just-
everyone just brought red Sharpies, just faked it. Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we're respecting the letter of the law, and when the local law enforcement comes in to inspect the liquor permit, like we have to put a good show on, put up a good face.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Check out all those chained up fire exits.
Yikes. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we should probably go. We're like at 20 minutes over.
20 minutes over.
Sorry.
Again, without the
That's
quiz.
not too
Sorry
bad.
again. I
No regrets.
That's pretty good for us, though. That's pretty good for
All right,
us. So,
honestly, yeah.
next week, Jurassic Park 3.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
And
Oh, man.
Dash Hooper's coming, and Steph Cannon's coming, and Javon Stokes is coming, and I don't know who else is coming because Jurassic Park 3 does stuff to people, and like more people might show up. We don't know. We can have up to 10 people up in here for this stuff, so like it's
Nice.
gonna be chaotic, and
Nice.
and I don't care. Like I live for that shit. Like I love it when there's too many people on this show.
Well, thanks so
it.
much. Thanks so much for having us on, both
That
of
was
us.
a pleasure.
Yes,
So
thank
this-
you for coming.
Yes,
This is the
thank
first
you.
podcast Joe and I have ever done together. So we've
Yeah.
Yay.
we've done our own together
Proud
for
to
the
be-
book, but yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
proud to have that honor.
No, really
And
appreciate
everybody
it.
go check out Dead Air. It's deadaircomic.com down there. Go look at it. It's in the link. Like you don't even have to type it in. You can just go click it in the comments and just back it. Just go rewind to the beginning of this and then listen to all the awesome things about it and then just throw your money at it.
Right.
'Cause
You'll see the art.
do
and
it,
you're
just
like,
do
oh,
it.
yeah. Hell
Have I ever steered you wrong? Probably, but you can overlook that, right? All right, and then yeah. Well, and you guys are welcome back again anytime.
Thank you so much.
Just let
Thank
me
you so
know.
much.
Thank you.
And this is I don't even mention this is this 2 nights in a row with Fred. So that was fun.
God help
wow.
you.
We were randomly guesting together on a podcast last night. We met there and yeah, it was good times.
I'm curious about that book with all the dicks now. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, hard
Oh,
one.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's a good one.
I'll share it with you guys.
Just for reading it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
and yeah, well, we like destroyed the movie that Fred picked. When Clerks, and then like he just stayed. So
I,
it's not about the criticism. We're just like fun to hang out.
Might
with,
be
I
about the
guess.
Stockholm syndrome, but
it's that one day, like I'm gonna like pick one that like everybody loves. Like there is a movie out there that like checks everybody's box to someone, or at least Amanda's, because like
You're talking about Charlton Heston's 10 Commandments, right? I think we can all agree that that's the peak of American
Oh.
cinema right there.
I don't know what I would even pick to.
All right, I don't
Break
wanna
that test.
I don't wanna like disappoint you guys, but we watched Velocipaster,
It's not
Yeah.
good.
and like nothing's gonna top that. Nothing is gonna top that.
Really?
That is-
top it is like
Top
it's
it
a terrible
as-
movie and you love terrible movies.
That's a rough
or-
movie.
Oh God. I don't actually. It's only what is it like? It's not even an hour and a half long. So like just I can't.
Is
I
it
don't
fun?
even know.
Is it fun?
It's
Is it
I
worth
laughed
watching?
I laughed a lot.
Okay,
I
cool.
I mean,
mean,
I'm going with
probably
Benjamin's
not-
head shake currently, so you need to sell me a little bit.
No, I laughed a lot, but not like, it. You know
I
what?
laughed at-
You're being too
I laughed at
Nevertheless.
Birdemic many times.
Yeah.
We I
But it
laughed.
was
I laughed
laughing
at
at, not with.
Velocipaster. Yes, I laughed at Velocipaster the way I laughed at Birdemic. Okay.
Oh, ew,
That-
gross.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
It's-
If you're going to give a squishy recommendation like that, I'm going to say Slaughterhouse. I give a hard recommendation for
Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse.
House.
I
Yes.
looked it
Oh
up
my
after
God.
you recommended it, and it's still in March. Do you want to continue watching this list? So I make that joke every time to Amanda, and I'm sure she finds it just as funny and charming every single.
That's like
I'm
a
just
really
waiting for you to actually
judgy.
hit the button.
That's such a judgy thing for the streaming service to say to you.
Oh yes.
Okay. All right. So everybody go check out deadaircomic.com and everybody come back here next week and listen to us say some really horrible things about Jurassic Park 3, but not as horrible as they would be if we talked about Velocipaster. We're not going to do that. We're going to talk about Jurassic Park 3. And I am going to ardently defend the now I forgot his fucking name. The
William H. Macy.
well,
Is he in the third one?
He is.
Okay.
He is
I didn't get
the
them
third
mixed
one.
up.
No,
Are you gonna defend
I-
Sam Neill?
Alan Grant. No, Alan Grant.
Yeah.
I was there was a couple of different people who suggested that it is not a real Jurassic Park movie because he doesn't have an arc. And I'm like, that's bullshit. And I'm going to tell you why next week.
His arc is science. I think that's pretty clear.
It's got to do with the kids in the movie, the first movie and then the third movie. Like, it's got to do with the kids.
It's
And
not that he doesn't have an arc. He's just a completely different character. He went from being
you,
like a kind,
you almost
well-intentioned.
got eaten by a tyrannosaur.
He went from being like a kind, like, you know, like science first guy to like, and the T-Rex is gonna eat you, ha. Like, he's just a kind
That's
of a
in the
jerk.
first one. Yeah, like we're gonna talk about it next week.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't spend another half an
Hand this
hour on that. But
Spoilers
yeah,
are
like,
boiling over to this week.
there's just people who are talking about why it's not good because he doesn't have an arc, and I was like, it's not good for so many reasons.
Yeah,
but
like-
that's not one of them. Okay,
That's like nitpicking. Like
wrong. You're wrong. It's kind of a shit movie, but like it's still a Jurassic Park, and I will defend that. I will fight you. I will. So with that
Yes, you
being
will.
said, everybody have a really great rest of your week.
you
Go
guys
check
do.
out Dead Air Comic, and we'll see ya next week to talk about why Jurassic Park 3 is a Jurassic Park. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.